What's a rich person hobby you don't actually need to be rich to do? Going to art museums or classical music concerts. There are a ton of free ones out there that are still really good. That was one of my favorite things in college. I actually volunteered as an usher for a class assignment. I ended up doing that for the rest of my time there because I enjoyed it so much. Freestanding seats to 50 shows because I worked there. Plant hybridization. How does that work? You make plants FCK. I always see tennis portrayed as a rich person's sport in pop culture. But all you need is some rackets from Goodwill and couple balls that you can get at Walmart, and pretty much any town has a city park with some courts. The depressing thing about tennis is that no matter how good I get, I'll never be as good as a wall. Mitch. I played a wall once. They're relentless. Bonsai. Although you can expect to kill the first few, I'm trying not to get too attached to Groot second. So it's just a cheaper version of having children? Rich person hobby just means you have time to actually have a hobby. All my hobbies are just ways to save money or recover from work. Walking, yoga, naps, cooking freezer meals, classical music. My hobby is woodworking. I got a part-time job doing minor home repairs on the weekend and now my hobby makes a profit. I also work 7 days a week with 0 time off ever. Feels like a gentleman's game for a few sophisticated people, but chess is perfect for everyone. Chess is the everyman's game. The best players I have seen spent time in prison. Is that because you also spent time there? People with sailboats will always say sailing, but it's just a scam for free labor on their big stupid boats. It's the country club set's version of tricking your friends into helping you move. Showing horses. Just kidding. It's expensive as peep. Heroin would probably be a better financial decision. I was talking to our barn owner about how expensive horses are. Her response was so is cocaine. But people find a way. What I'm getting from that is her cocaine addiction taught her the financial management skills needed to keep horses. Silently judging people. Oh, everyone does that. I'm pretending I'm rich while doing it. Charity/philanthropy. Damn, you're wholesome. Golf. There's this place a few miles down the road from my house that'll let you play a full 18 holes for 8 per person. That includes club and ball rental. And the balls are all cool neon colors top, instead of that boring white crap you see on TV. The employees keep telling me it's just a small golf course. But what do I care? Cheap and fun for the whole family. Some say the course is miniature. Well, you know what they say. It isn't golf in miniature. Tax evasion. I think you mean tax avoidance. Tax evasion is illegal. Yeah, yours makes more sense, but both are true, I guess. I suppose tax avoidance is easier for rich people though, because they can afford expensive accountants that are good with that. Though the cost of getting your taxes done well does largely depend on how complex your return is, etc. Numismatics. Yup. We've got several hundred interesting coins. Total value maybe $200. But they are interesting to look through. My mom was next level after she got dementia. She saved every state quarter she got as change. After pulling the few that had errors, there was over 300 in state quarters after making albums for all the grandkids and kids. Birdwatching. Just need a pair of binoculars and you're all set. Is that a rich person hobby though? That was my thought. My grandpa was a farmer that grew up during the Great Depression. The man bought his hearing aids at a garage sale, and this was his hobby. Badminton. It's very cheap to get started, and extremely fun. I'm always surprised by how intense it can be. Oh my gosh. That was a huge thing every summer in my family. They stopped when the older kids got lives and there weren't as many players available. I kind of missed out because I'm almost 11 years younger than the rest. I've always wanted to do fencing. but can't do all the lunging with my bad right knee. I fenced in high school and college, and yeah, it can be hell on the knees. But it was fun, and I loved it. I wasn't very good, which is why I didn't fence after college. Lol. Fencing is a great hobby during a pandemic. If someone gets closer than 6 feet you get to stab them. Human hunting. The rich people just pay someone to bring in human prey for the sport hunt. But all it takes is a little motivation on your part and you can get your own human to hunt. You don't even need a gun. You can fashion your own weapons and make it even more sporty. Great fun for the whole family too. Really making Op regret not using that serious tag. Huh. That one serial killer who hunted rape victims in the woods also got away with it initially due to his status. Even after being positively identified and other stuff interior of his home. His plain etc matching escapee statement. Obviously he eventually got convicted etc. If we are looking at different eras, learning ancient languages like Greek/Latin. Rich folk these days don't seem to bother with intellectual pursuits. But step back even 100 to 200 years, and you had to basically come from money to do something like learn Greek/Latin. These days though, anyone with an internet connection can learn them. Alcoholism and self-loathing. You can have a wine cellar or just a cool dark place. Unless you have a golden palate, spending a steep ton of money on wine is diminishing returns. So you can buy a few cases of something you like, moderately priced for you, and let them gather dust for a few years. Bust one out for special occasions. Just a sap. Not all wines are supposed to be aged. Some are made with the intent of being consumed within the year. You can't just take a random 15 bottle of Cab and sit on it for 10 years and then expect it to turn into an expensive vintage wine. What would happen if you aged one of those? Would it go bad or just taste the same as new? Retirement. Who off? Culture in general. Books are free from the library. Museums are free in many places. Classical or jazz, or whatever music/ballet/opera/theater/documentaries etc are accessible for free on YouTube/TV, or at low cost through subscription services. Often poor people are actually more cultured than those with expendable incomes, because they can't afford to entertain themselves with video games, or what have you. Just look at the USSR. Sure, many people didn't have their own house/flat or many had struggled to find shoes that fit, but they all knew their pushkin. Showing dogs. There are people who spend thousands of dollars on campaigning and advertising their dog, hire a professional handler, and even fly their dogs on private jets to get to shows. But you can still walk in the ring and compete against them and beat them as an owner handler. At the end of the day, I can focus on my 1 or 2 dogs, training, conditioning and grooming them, in a way that someone who has to show multiple different people's dogs can't. You still need a purebred with good qualities though. That's a high startup cost, and a huge time investment, even if you do the training yourself. Croquet. I love croquettes. Go to the opera. Many opera houses are struggling financially. Millennials and Gen Z just aren't that into it. The pandemic has made it really difficult for all performing arts venues. You can get tickets on Groupon sometimes, or your local opera house might offer cheap season tickets, if you're willing to sit higher up. The sound obviously carries, so the top row is still not bad seating. Undefined. Yes. My friends and I love going to the opera in New York, and we literally get seats the last row at the very top balcony. We dress up. We go get burgers, or meet at a diner. Then we go to opera and we freaking love it. I don't listen to opera in my free time, but when we go, I love it. It's transcendent. And the production value is off the charts. I can't wait till we can safely go to big live events again. Becoming a home cook foodie. Market manipulation, apparently. Stock investment. Diving into a swimming pool full of you replace the money with gravel or something. That much gravel gets really expensive. Ocean sailing. Get on Meetup. Find some boat owner who needs crew members for the regattas. They will teach you to sail for free. Then start crewing on ocean-going boats. Soon you'll be sailing anywhere for free. Here in Calgary, Alberta, it can be tough to find a regatta.